Hello, welcome to Unlocking Buddhism. As we settle into this moment, find a quiet space within, a sanctuary where breath deepens and the mind rests. In this stillness, we turn inward, to the heart of experience where profound questions of life and existence quietly wait. Today, our contemplation opens on a theme that stirs deep currents of apprehension for many: the cessation of life, the natural end that comes to all. We do not approach it with dread, but with a calm, curious spirit, like a seasoned traveler observing an inevitable horizon. Fear of death, in its many forms, touches every corner of life, subtly shaping choices, attachments, and our sense of time. It shows up as quiet anxiety about the future, a clinging to the familiar, or resistance to change. This fear is a human response, born of our desire for continuity. Yet understanding this shared experience reveals a sacred invitation, an opportunity to transform our relationship with finitude and, in doing so, to embrace the fuller potential of living. We often imagine death as an absolute void, a final separation from all we love. That view obscures a deeper truth: impermanence. Everything that arises passes away. Every form, feeling, thought, relationship, season, each unfolds, peaks, and declines. This constant flow is the fabric of reality. When we resist it, clinging to imagined permanence, we sow suffering in our hearts. Fear of death is thus a manifestation of resistance to impermanence itself. What if, instead of recoiling, we leaned into this truth? If we let the awareness of impermanence illuminate rather than diminish the present, a different life opens. This is the core of our journey, exploring how embracing the ephemeral can unlock a steady inner peace. It is not an inquiry into darkness but into clarity, not despair but liberation. Acceptance of beginnings and endings can free us from the weight of attachment and anxiety, allowing each moment to be met with renewed presence, gratitude, and equanimity. Imagine the peace that comes when a troubled mind rests. Seeking shelter from a storm, we look for stability in change. True steadiness is not found outside, for the world shifts. It is discovered within, through alignment with fundamental truths. Our path will gently guide us toward that alignment, showing how a deep understanding of impermanence becomes fertile ground for joy and tranquil contentment. This opening does not offer all answers, but it opens a door to deeper inquiry and reflection. It invites us to see life and death with new eyes, eyes softened by wisdom and compassion. How might awareness of our finite journey enrich each step? How does letting go of permanence let us fully appreciate fleeting beauty? These questions will guide us forward as we move beyond surface fear into the transforming power of acceptance. Confronting our deepest dread can become the catalyst for awakening to an authentic, peaceful, fully lived existence. Let this be the tranquil beginning of an exploration where the shadow of death yields to the radiance of inner peace. As we set out with the image of an experienced navigator preparing for a vast ocean crossing, the destination and duration unknown, we are invited to sense the finite nature of our vessel and its contents, an introduction to impermanence. Picture the navigator, eyes steady on the horizon. This is no casual journey. Not every detail can be charted. The ocean's vastness mirrors life's, where the known yields to the unknown and certainty is a fleeting illusion. Consider the vessel. It is inspected, planks, sail, ropes checked again and again. Yet the navigator knows it is not eternal. It will age under waves, sun, and salt. It will change and reach its natural end. So it is with our bodies, these precious vessels that carry us. We care for them, nourish them, attend to their needs, yet acknowledge their impermanence. Born, grown, changed, declined, and finally ceasing. This natural law admits no escape. The contents of the vessel are likewise transient. Provisions, tools, maps, useful for a time, then consumed, worn, or made obsolete by shifting conditions. In life, these are our possessions, relationships, roles, achievements, even thoughts and feelings. We accumulate and cherish them, identify with them, pour energy into maintaining them, often forgetting their flux. They arise, persist for a while, then pass, making room for new experiences and understandings. Clinging to them is like grasping a worn map after currents have shifted and a new course is required. Preparation itself contains this subtle wisdom. The navigator does not prepare for a single, unchanging journey, but for a dynamic, unpredictable one. Storms, calms, shifting winds, unforeseen challenges. This flexibility comes from knowing nothing is fixed. Likewise, our education, skills, plans, and routines are valuable tools, not guarantees against change. True wisdom sees preparations as means to navigate change with ease and resilience, equipping us to respond skillfully to life's unfolding, rather than to control its design. The unknown destination and duration are the most potent parts of the metaphor. The navigator sails with direction and purpose, but arrival and time remain mysterious. So it is with us. We have aspirations and move in certain directions, but the moment of our cessation is unknown. Uncertainty can breed anxiety, a whispering fear, or serve as teacher. Embracing the unknown, letting go of the need to control the uncontrollable, opens presence. Each moment becomes precious, each breath a gift when there is no promise of the next. This awareness is not meant to bring sadness, but clarity and deeper appreciation. Recognizing our vessel's finitude prompts more diligent care. Seeing contents as temporary teaches us to hold them lightly, appreciating without clinging. Accepting the unknown makes us present to the journey, finding meaning in each wave, sunset, and guiding star. This understanding echoes a core Buddhist insight. Suffering arises from resisting impermanence, expecting things not to change or clinging when they do. The navigator who understands impermanence does not suffer when winds shift or storms gather. They adjust sails, alter course, respond with equanimity. They are not victims, but skillful navigators of reality. Carry this image into contemplation. How do we prepare for our journey physically and mentally? Do we check our body with kindness and awareness? Do we hold our relationships, possessions, and thoughts with a gentle hand, acknowledging their transience? Do we face the unknown horizon with an open heart and clear mind? This is not a call to abandon responsibility or planning, but to infuse them with wisdom and acceptance. Prepare diligently, yes, but remember, true stability lies not in unchanging things, but in our inner capacity to meet change with grace. The awakened navigator sails not to conquer the ocean, but to journey through it with presence and peace. As we continue with our navigator, daily practice reveals how life transcends attachment to the temporary vessel. True security lies in a serene mind and clear intention, meeting each wave with gratitude. Lifting the anchor from the port marks the first liberating step into the journey of final freedom, preparing the heart for profound surrender. This surrender is not resignation, but a deliberate unclenching, releasing the illusion of control. It is the wisdom of currents that flow effortlessly, meeting obstacles not with force, but with understanding. Raising the anchor is a gentle declaration, a silent promise to be guided by deeper truths, rather than shifting external sands. It signals readiness to move beyond the harbor's perceived safety into the vast expanse of being where freedom resides. This simple act echoes the inner work of relinquishing attachment as liberation, not loss. Consider the anchor, a symbol of rootedness and the comfort of the known, and also the ties that bind: possessions, relationships, opinions, status, our sense of self. These weights keep us in port, preventing us from experiencing the boundless ocean of existence. Lifting the anchor is not abandoning care, but recognizing that true stability is not in external moorings, but in the unshakable stillness of cultivated inner peace. It is trusting the buoyancy of spirit over the fleeting solidity of the world, moving from dependence on externals to reliance on the inner. Mindful serenity becomes our compass, pointing toward truths that transcend life's fluctuations. Preparing the heart for surrender unfolds through mindfulness and meditation, observing thoughts and emotions without judgment or clinging. This observation creates spaciousness, revealing that our true nature is not the mind's contents, but the vast awareness beneath them. Surrender is giving to life's flow and impermanence, allowing wisdom born of acceptance to guide us. It is letting go of control, responding with an open heart and clear mind. Skillful response arises from trust in the interconnectedness of phenomena. Even challenges carry wisdom. A heart prepared for surrender can hold joy and sorrow with equanimity, seeing both as transient. Each wave met with gratitude becomes a lesson. Gratitude is deep appreciation for experiencing life fully, including storms that foster growth, resilience, and self-knowledge. The navigator who faces a storm with gratitude is not courting danger, but remaining open to learning and adaptation. This attitude turns adversity into a catalyst for transformation. Mindful serenity lets us ride waves with steadiness rather than be swept away, shifting us from victimhood to conscious participation. Every wave, gentle or fierce, invites deeper understanding, refinement of our inner compass, and strengthened resolve. Final freedom is not a destination, but a cultivated state, continuous awakening that sheds illusions and the mental prisons of attachment, aversion, and ignorance. It frees us to act with wisdom and compassion instead of habit and fear. Clarity of intention is our inner light, aligning actions with values and the well-being of all. This clarity grows from honest inquiry into what truly serves the highest good. The journey is an embrace of becoming, growing into a more awakened, compassionate being. Understanding impermanence transforms how we relate to experience. Knowing all things change, we cease to cling to the pleasant and to resist the unpleasant. This insight fosters equanimity, an engaged, present steadiness amid change. The serenity sought is not indifference, but the calm eye of the storm, an inner refuge that travels with us. Preparing the heart also means self-compassion, accepting our humanness, and extending compassion outward, acknowledging others on their voyages. Lifting the anchor is not isolation, but awakening to our place in the tapestry of existence. Our liberation contributes to the collective. The profundity of surrender lies in continual commitment to observe, let go, and embrace the present with an open heart and clear mind, ready for whatever the boundless ocean of life brings. This is true navigation, guided by wisdom, fueled by compassion, culminating in the boundless freedom of an awakened heart. As we now delve into the fundamental teaching of impermanence, we recognize existence as a ceaseless flow of change. Death is not a fearful cessation, but a sacred metamorphosis, an unbroken continuum where each moment and manifestation is shaped by causes and conditions. This invites a calm, discerning gaze, like watching a river's current. The river is never the same from one moment to the next, yet remains a river. Form shifts, waters flow, new drops join and old ones move on, but its dynamic essence persists. Likewise, all phenomena, our bodies, thoughts, emotions, relationships, the world, are constantly transforming. Nothing is static. To comprehend impermanence is to recognize this at the core of experience. Consider the human body, this fragile vessel. From conception through childhood, adulthood, and old age, it renews and decays. Cells are born and die, tissues regenerate, organs adapt. Each breath is different, each heartbeat a new event. We may feel solid, yet mindful observation reveals a cascade of biological and energetic processes, a dance of creation and dissolution. This flux is not a flaw, but existence itself. Resisting it breeds unease and suffering. Embracing it brings gentleness, seeing strengths and frailties as fleeting. We can care for the body without the clinging born of misunderstanding. Beyond the physical, our mental and emotional landscapes are fluid. Thoughts arise and pass like clouds. Emotions, joyful or sorrowful, appear, intensify, and dissipate. We cling to pleasant thoughts and resist pain, yet like weather, they elude control. Mindfulness lets us observe these states without attachment or aversion, recognizing them as transient. This observation reveals we are not our thoughts or emotions, but the awareness that observes them. That awareness is the ground on which fleeting mental activity unfolds. Resting in it brings spaciousness and peace, unaffected by the mind's shifting contents. Relationships, too, follow impermanence. They begin, evolve, and may end. People enter and exit our lives. Even those who remain change, as do we. Connections transform, from passion to companionship, from shared understanding to distance. Expecting permanence invites pain. True love and compassion, rooted in wisdom, acknowledge this fluidity. They cherish present connection without demanding permanence, allowing growth. Holding relationships lightly, aware of their transient nature, lets us appreciate them more deeply and softens the sorrow of separation. Knowing true connection extends beyond presence. The world itself is a tapestry of change. Seasons turn, landscapes shift, civilizations rise and fall. Mountains, seeming timeless, are slowly reshaped by wind and water. Believing in a fixed external reality misses existence's vibrant dynamism. This is not despair, but an invitation to presence and appreciation. Every sunrise is unique, every bloom a fleeting miracle. Each conversation is singular. Knowing transience heightens preciousness. Death, in this tapestry, is not anomaly, but integral, a transformation of form within the continuous flow. Like caterpillar to butterfly, water to cloud to rain, life manifests anew. The body's raw materials return to earth. The animating energy disperses, contributing to other formations. Seeing death this way shifts it from void to natural, even sacred unfolding, a moment of profound letting go. The principle of causes and conditions is crucial. Every instant and experience, including death and what follows, arises from interdependent factors. Nothing happens in isolation. Our actions, thoughts, and intentions, karma, shape conditions for future states. While impermanence cannot be controlled, we can influence the conditions that shape our future by cultivating kindness, compassion, wisdom, and ethical conduct. This empowers us as participants in our own continuum, not passive victims. This sacred metamorphosis is ongoing, not confined to physical death. Each act of letting go, of a habit, belief, or memory, is a small death, a transformation. Releasing attachment to outcomes is a mini-metamorphosis, opening space for new possibilities. Fear of death often stems from fear of letting go. Practicing small releases builds the wisdom and courage to face ultimate letting go with equanimity. Guided by impermanence and interconnectedness, this understanding frees us from fear and opens doors to genuine liberation. It invites living each moment fully, recognizing its transient beauty, and cultivating a heart open, resilient, and compassionate. Embracing death as sacred metamorphosis, we live with purpose, presence, and inner peace, navigators of the outer ocean and inner currents, moving with the flow and returning to the quiet wisdom within. The realization of impermanence transforms fear into freedom, anxiety into equanimity, and clinging into compassionate engagement with life's boundless dance. As we journey deeper, we see that attachment to form or concept is the wellspring of suffering. This wisdom invites equanimity and detachment, allowing consciousness to flow. The mind, as architect of our reality, can steer us toward an auspicious rebirth, suffused with gratitude and benevolence, dispelling fear and sorrow. This understanding is not merely intellectual, but an invitation to inner transformation, a shift in how we perceive and live. To cultivate equanimity is to grow an unwavering stillness, a heart calm amid life's currents. Joy and sorrow, gain and loss, praise and blame, all are transient. Clinging to the pleasant brings suffering when it passes. Resisting the unpleasant amplifies distress. Equanimity lets us meet experience with an open, balanced heart, acknowledging it without becoming entangled. It is a gentle release, like opening a clenched fist. This detachment is not cold indifference, but compassionate non-clinging, a wisdom that sees phenomena as impermanent and without an independent self. Consider a clear stream. Toss rocks and debris into its path, and the water struggles. Our attachments to possessions, relationships, ideas, or self-image are such obstructions. They impede the effortless flow of consciousness. Release them, and the stream runs clear and serene, allowing expansive awareness unbound by preference. In this state, true understanding arises, unobscured by expectation or fear. The mind, liberated, becomes a vast sky where thoughts and emotions pass like clouds, leaving no trace on the boundless awareness beneath. This is liberation, freedom from the pull of wanting and not wanting, resting in the unconditioned nature of being. The mind's role as architect is crucial. Every thought, intention, and action leaves an imprint shaping future conditions. As a builder selects materials, our habitual thoughts lay foundations for our reality. Cultivate anger, greed, or delusion, and you build suffering. Nurture kindness, compassion, and wisdom, and you build peace. This is the law of karma. Mental states at death are especially potent. strongly influencing the next rebirth. Preparing the mind for that transition is therefore paramount, a conscious effort to orient our inner architecture toward a wholesome outcome. An auspicious rebirth is not mere hope, but a possibility cultivated through mindful living. It is suffused with gratitude and benevolence, antidotes to fear and sorrow. Deep gratitude appreciates experience, recognizing interconnectedness and learning in every moment. Even challenges offer lessons and resilience. This grateful heart extends into benevolence, a selfless wish for all beings' well-being. Minds imbued with such qualities leave little room for corrosive fear or sorrow. Fear springs from clinging to the impermanent and the illusion of a separate self. Sorrow often stems from unfulfilled desire or resistance to loss. Gratitude and benevolence dismantle these constructs, replacing them with peace. Cultivation is continuous, like tending a garden, removing weeds and nurturing helpful plants. Observe the mind with gentle attention, note unwholesome patterns, and redirect toward wholesome ones. When fear or regret arise, recall impermanence, interconnectedness, and the potential for transformation. Remember kindness given or received. Let those memories warm the mind. This intentional conditioning prepares us for life's transitions, including death, with peace and purpose. Equanimity and detachment reshape our relationship to pain. Resistance to physical or mental suffering often intensifies it. With equanimity, we can acknowledge pain without letting it overwhelm us, seeing it as a transient sensation rather than my pain. This distance allows experience without consumption. Emotional pain, grief, disappointment, can be met with gentle acceptance, allowed to arise and pass without judgment. Over time, resistance loosens, and suffering's grip eases. Dispelling fear and sorrow is gradual, like dawn after a long night. The aim is not to erase natural emotions, but to transform our relationship to them so they no longer imprison us. Understanding impermanence reduces fear of loss. Benevolence turns sorrow into a wish to alleviate suffering and a recognition of life's cycles. We do not become emotionless. Feelings are tempered by wisdom and compassion, enabling responses marked by clarity rather than overwhelm. In essence, this path is conscious liberation, letting go of what binds us, releasing the illusions that create suffering, and cultivating qualities that bring lasting peace. By embracing equanimity, nurturing detachment, and guiding the mind toward gratitude and benevolence, we become architects of an auspicious future in this life and beyond. The shadows of fear and sorrow recede, replaced by the light of wisdom and compassion, guiding us toward boundless freedom of heart and mind. This is the Buddha's promise. Not escape from reality, but an awakened engagement with it, living in harmony with existence's flow toward the unconditioned. This wisdom is woven into our days through the practice of gently letting go. We begin by noticing subtle attachments to routines, opinions, comforts, and training the mind to release them, fostering inner freedom amid life's flux. Letting go is not forceful abandonment, but a delicate unclenching, like opening a hand that has been holding sand. We cultivate a soft gaze, turning inward to see threads that bind us, preferences, expectations, self-image, with patient, non-judging attention, watching how the mind reaches for pleasure and resists threat. Consider attachments to our internal narratives, the stories of who we are, what we deserve, how life should unfold. These narratives offer identity, yet can imprison growth. We may cling to an achievement as proof of worth or nurse a grievance that colors the present. Gently letting go means acknowledging the story, seeing it as a construction, and with a soft exhale allowing it to relax its hold. We learn that our essence is not in these passing tales, but in the spacious awareness that watches them. This training asks for repeated noticing and a quiet resolve to soften the grip, letting an image or remembered emotion be without entanglement. Beyond stories, we observe sensation. When a taste delights, do we wish it to last? When a sound jars, do we recoil? This is attachment and aversion at their roots. The practice extends to momentary sense experience. Note pleasure with appreciation, allowing its transience. Meet discomfort with gentle awareness, permitting it to unfold and dissipate. Understanding even intense sensations are impermanent. Such mindful engagement, free from wishing things otherwise, cultivates an inner stillness, not easily swayed by shifting tides. Training the mind to release tension is ongoing, like tending a garden where weeds recur and must be removed without disturbing fertile soil. Each time we cling to an outcome, to being right, to comfort, we pause, we breathe, grounding in the present, and on the exhale visualize release. Shoulders soften, jaw unclenches, heart eases. This is not apathy, but wisdom, seeing that clinging brings suffering and that peace aligns with impermanence. Through repeated practice, the mind learns security not from holding tightly, but from the spaciousness of letting go. Such release fosters deep inner freedom. It feels like lightness, an unburdened presence moving through complexity with ease. Freedom from the tyranny of wanting and not wanting, craving and aversion, allows us to respond skillfully and compassionately, rather than react from habit or fear. We become more present to each moment, appreciating its texture without imposing expectations. This freedom is not escape from the world, but liberation within it, letting us engage more fully and authentically. That freedom gives rise to resilience amid life's flux. When we embody impermanence and have trained the mind to release attachments, change and challenge lose their power to unmoor us. The mind becomes less a fragile boat and more like the ocean, holding waves without being undone. We bend without breaking, adapt without despair. When relationships shift, routines break, possessions are lost, pain is felt but not compounded by clinging. We see events as natural, arising and passing. Resilience is not hardening, but softening, an openness to meet uncertainty with quiet steadiness. Rooted in trust in interconnectedness and life's wisdom, it reveals moments of loss as openings for growth, understanding, and compassion for ourselves and others. Having practiced countless small releases, the mind is readied for larger surrenders life demands. True stability is not an unchanging outside world, but an inner capacity to meet change with grace, equanimity, and an open heart. Thus, through gentle, continuous letting go, we weave wisdom into our days, transforming fear into freedom, anxiety into peace, and resistance into compassionate, resilient engagement. This understanding, woven into daily life, invites us to see every subtle shift, unmet expectation, and fading sensation as a microcosm of impermanence. When a cherished plan deviates, a routine is disrupted, or a pleasant moment concludes, we are invited to release. These are not failures, but quiet teachers. A forgotten item, a brief disappointment, the minor discomfort of changing temperature. Each is a tiny cessation, a mini-death to meet with mindfulness rather than resistance. Instead of clinging or recoiling, we can pause, breathe, and observe loss or frustration without judgment. In that observation, the grip loosens, the heart softens, and acceptance arises. Repeating this through the day reconditions the mind, fostering flexibility and a deeper trust in life's flux. Through these small acts of letting go, we prepare the ground of being for greater surrender, learning to navigate change with more grace and inner peace. The cultivation of genuine goodwill, metta, is vital. When hearts are suffused with kindness and a sincere wish for others' well-being, the sharp edges of personal loss, dull, fear, rooted in self-preservation and separateness, recedes as consciousness expands to include others. A mind of metta is less prone to grasp or recoil, shifting focus from me and mine to the interdependent web of existence. This boundless goodwill reaches loved ones, difficult people, and strangers alike, dissolving the illusion of separation that fuels sorrow. Wishing all beings freedom from suffering allows our own losses to be met with spacious compassion. We see personal endings as part of universal change, fostering connection instead of isolation. Metta teaches that true security isn't clinging to pleasantness, but the heart's capacity to welcome all that arises. Over time, aversion diminishes, and challenging moments are greeted with gentler openness, preparing the mind to approach ultimate letting go with serene acceptance. Alongside goodwill, unconditional gratitude becomes a radiant lamp, illuminating life's richness amid impermanence. Gratitude here is not mere polite thanks, but deep appreciation for existence. Every breath, sensation, and moment of awareness. It recognizes the causes and conditions that shape experience, finding value and learning even in seeming losses. A missed opportunity can be a redirection, a fading sunset a moment to cherish. This stance counters the mind's habit of lament and anchors us in presence. By practicing gratitude for simple things, the sun's warmth, the taste of water, a bird's call, we build a reservoir of appreciation to sustain us. Gratitude reframes loss from void to part of life's unfolding, fostering an inner abundance not diminished by circumstance. A grateful mind finds contentment in presence and eases fear of final cessation, viewing it as a natural continuation of life's gift. Boundless compassion, karuna, expands awareness beyond self, embracing all beings. Compassion is the wish to relieve suffering. Cultivated, it changes how we meet our own fear and pain. We see these feelings as shared, dissolving isolation and turning sorrow into connection. Recognizing that others endure countless small endings too. Plans foiled, aches, fleeting sadness, fosters solidarity and reduces self-centered suffering. Turning outward paradoxically brings inner relief, refining empathy and building a heart less easily disturbed. Holding our pain and others with gentle understanding shows suffering as a universal thread, making the ego's dissolution less daunting. When our concern includes all beings, the individual me recedes, allowing endings to be seen as transformations within life's flow. This recognition of interconnectedness underpins these practices. Nothing exists alone. Everything arises depending on countless factors. Bodies, minds, relationships, and experiences are threads in a dynamic tapestry. Grasping this, the idea of absolute ending dissolves. A drop returns to the ocean. A leaf nourishes the soil. Mini-deaths reveal that what seems to end merely transforms and contributes to the whole. Such understanding loosens individuality's grip and readies us to see physical death not as annihilation, but metamorphosis within interdependence. As fear of void recedes, goodwill, gratitude, and compassion, cultivated through daily letting go, become radiant guides, leading the mind toward peace, clarity, and unity. Meeting life's ebbs and flows with these virtues gradually dismantles fear and attachment. Every ending is also a beginning. Every release creates space. Every surrender is a step toward liberation. Thus, gentle acceptance of mini-deaths becomes a transformative practice, readying the mind to face all transitions, including the final one, with unshakable peace, grounded in wisdom and boundless love. As our journey concludes, we recognize that conscious acceptance and preparation can transform death from a fearsome end into a sacred invitation to live fully. This practice cultivates qualities that enrich this life and the continuum beyond, guiding us to an imperturbable peace, where the heart, full of gratitude and loving kindness, is poised to release and be reborn in the light of truth. Conscious acceptance is not passive resignation or mere intellectual assent. It is active, mindful engagement with impermanence, a reorientation of perception. To accept is to open the inner eye to the flow of existence, to see how things arise, abide for a time, and cease. As breath moves and seasons change, life unfolds in cycles of beginning and ending. When we truly understand this, death loses its fearful grip. It stops feeling like an abrupt intrusion and becomes an integral transition, as natural as birth. This eases the heart's resistance and lets us rest in the wisdom that change contains freedom. Preparation is not a hurried gathering of goods, but the continual cultivation of inner qualities that refine awareness and purify intention. It involves mindfulness, bringing full attention to each moment, the taste of food, the sound of a bird, the warmth of sun, the presence of another. In such attention, we appreciate the preciousness of each instant, seeing life not to hoard, but to live. Preparation includes ethical conduct, actions, speech, and thought rooted in kindness, compassion, and wisdom. The wholesomeness of present actions shapes the conditions for what lies beyond. By living with integrity and presence, we lay the groundwork for a peaceful transition, so the heart is light, free of regret, and ready. Seeing death as a horizon paradoxically invites us to embrace life with urgency and appreciation. We stop postponing joy, delaying kindness, or holding back love. Every interaction becomes more precious, every breath more significant. Awareness of finitude acts as catalyst, urging us to shed superficial concerns and align with what truly matters: connection, wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. It helps distinguish the essential from the transient, freeing us from the chase for external gratifications. To live fully is to live authentically, in harmony with our deepest values, letting go of attachments and opening to each passing moment. This continuous practice weaves a tapestry of virtues that extend beyond the present. Patience lets us meet challenges with quiet steadiness. Resilience enables us to bend with change rather than break. Equanimity fosters inner balance so we are not swept by turmoil. Boundless compassion expands the heart to embrace all beings, recognizing interconnectedness and wishing for everyone's well-being. These virtues deepen relationships, enhance peace, and provide a firm basis for skillful action. They also prepare the ground for the continuum beyond, imprinting consciousness with wholesomeness. This inner work guides us toward imperturbable peace, a stillness undisturbed by circumstance, not a fleeting calm, but a deep tranquility arising from understanding, releasing the illusion of control, letting go of permanence, aligning with life's flow. When mind is freed from attachment and aversion, and the heart is open, peace arises naturally. It does not depend on favorable conditions. It is an inner refuge, a sanctuary that travels with us, like a clear sky through passing clouds. In this state, the heart, brimming with gratitude and loving kindness, becomes poised. Gratitude is a pervasive appreciation for the miracle of existence, every breath, sensation, and chance to grow, fostering humility. Loving kindness is the boundless wish for the happiness of all beings, even those difficult to love. Filled with these qualities, fear, resentment, and sorrow find little room. The mind is purified and luminous. When the heart is thus poised, it is ready to release. Release is not struggle, but a gentle unclenching, like opening a hand that has long held a treasure. It is the conscious relinquishing of attachments to body, mind, experience, identity. It is an act of trust, surrendering to the natural order, knowing what is essential cannot be lost. This release culminates in understanding, virtue, and peace, a serene movement from one state to another, guided by wisdom and compassion. And in this sacred release, the heart is reborn, not into mere form, but into the light of truth. This rebirth is a profound awakening, a realization of our nature beyond individual limits, a merging with the unconditioned reality underlying phenomena, a direct experience of pure awareness, infinite compassion, and unwavering peace. Here lies liberation from the cycle of suffering, and abiding in the deathless, where the heart, free of impediments, rests in its true home, bathed in the radiant wisdom of the awakened mind. Thus, conscious acceptance and preparation guide us not to an ending but to an ever-unfolding journey into the boundless light of compassionate understanding.